Welcome, guys, to our next podcast episode. So I've thought long and hard about this. Who are we going to bring into the podcast? And it is someone that I've been speaking on TikTok for a while, someone I've listening to the music for a long time now, and someone that also has the best freaking heart ever. And I want to introduce you guys to the wonderful, most beautiful Prop, ladies and gentlemen.
Hi all. I won't say the most beautiful, but thank you for the rest of the compliments.
It's so nice to have you here on the podcast and finally be able to have a chat. Now, we've been planning this for a while now, actually, and to see it coming to fruition is such a nice situation for me. So, Prop, this is Dylan. Dylan Prop. I know you know Prop with his music video. So, Prop, first of all, I want to congratulate you on 3 million views
amazing
on Kwiki. And of your new release, Goga, as well.
Quite crazy. Kwiki, I didn't see that it ticked over 3 million in like a week or two after I checked what the hell is going on here. And it's been a year now, and I can't believe what that song has done for me. Obviously, we have other releases as well, and you're always anxious to the next releases must do good as well. And then you forget that first one. That's how good it is. Because when I sing it at places all around the country, we'll talk about that perhaps later, but flip it out. Good that one song has done for me. It's just like, I don't know how it happened.
You look at the future of the new releases and you forgot about the one song back then that you didn't think.
Yeah, but it's just a year ago as well.
That is so good to see, though, because that was, would you say that's the song that put you on the map?
Yeah, for sure. And it's one of those songs that I recorded at Mari Libba, the Hit Factory in Pretoria. And I'm a songwriter of not of profession. It's my love job, my passion job. And I wrote 300 songs in a question of like 5 to 6 years, took the top 60 to Murray, and then we cut it down to 7. He said 7 is good enough. And Kwiki wasn't part of one of that songs. 3, and true story, that this stuff happens actually. So the song Kwiki was Berta first. And then I changed it. I said, Murray said, we need another like a funky gooi song, which the Boere folk pop thing, which the guys will do.
Yes.
So I took the song that was called Berta. Except for you.
Oh my! Was it Berta first?
Berta. And then I thought, just if this song can just be something a little bit more algemeen, a little bit more catchy for everybody, and everybody can relate. That's the word, relatable. And I thought, what word? And then I thought, no, Kwiki. And all of those things, and that's why I tell the whole backstory always, because all of those things coming together 3 weeks before I launch my album, and then record a music video a week after, and then we do the. It's just crazy, man. Just that's how things sometimes just works out for you. And I've been trying on my career for like flipping ages, which we'll talk about probably a little bit later as well.
I don't know, but when I think about the song being named Berta, I'm kind of sad it wasn't named Berta. Now that I think about it.
Do you know someone that's called Berta?
No, but imagine the song was called Berta.
You know what? My mom, like the Campbells released the song. And it had exactly my mom's name. Oh, she went crazy for like weeks. It's my song. They said my name. So you would have made one Berta very happy out there. But now they know. Guys, so if your name's Berta, ek praat met jou. I'm speaking to you, Berta.
Yeah, the song.
The song was actually written for you, Berta.
Berta, don't be such a Kwiki, ne?
Now, when did you get into music?
Well, I'm, for those of you who don't know, I'm a 37-year-old bloke, actually. And I was...
You still look 15. 16, 17,
some,
18, 9, young, beautiful.
Thank you. At heart.
Like, your skin is more clear than mine. Mine is like frimmely out and stickend.
Yeah, as ek die baard ook nog sny, then you must see, I cut this beard. This beard is a...
You always have a smile on your face. That's the best.
The thing is, I've been in this industry, if I count the days, I've been at it since 2002. Sure. Started writing songs and picked up the guitar 2001, and immediately I could see... I enjoyed the vibe of starting to create. I play other people's songs. I played Blink-182 songs and Nirvana songs back in the day, and all of those guys, Green Day. But I very quickly realized that, I can learn the songs, but there's no big challenge for me. I have the ability to play the songs, but I can't remake that songs just as nice as they do because I don't have the band. I don't have all the rock star, all that stuff with me. But I can create my own stuff, and I immediately got into that. So I started writing songs and stuff. And been writing songs since forever. Yeah, so basically since 2022, I started performing at festivals, doing more the cover thing. Then right after school, or just before matric, I went into the cover gigs, started playing pubs and covers and all stuff. Sorry, it's a long story, but to cut a long story short, it's like I went from playing pubs from 2004 to 2007, 2008. Then the pubs started to fade out because I had the opportunity to become, I did pre-shows for Robbie Vessels back in the day.
Yes.
So from 2006 to 2008, I did pre-shows for him. And then I had the opportunity to become his bass guitarist. And first bass guitarist, then guitarist, backing vocalist. But through all of this time, I continued writing songs and I continued doing pub gigs for extra bit of cash on the side. Long story short again, I went in 2013, 2012, there around, I saw, it's a very difficult game, this music game. And it's just not happening for myself because the dream was always to do a solo thing and be the songwriter.
Yes.
And everything just came together for me. Robbie started gigging a little bit less in that. And I started saying, like, listen to your mother and father, go get the day job. Because they say never lose your day job. I said never lose your day job or get a day job because it's never too late. And I started studying architecture in 2013. Studied for 4 or 5 years. And now I'm actually an architect. Those days I always like to tell people.
So that's your day job, being an architect.
That's my day job, yeah. So those days I always tell people, those days I was a musician with an alcohol problem. Now I'm an architect with a music problem. So it's a better problem to have.
It is amazing.
Cool
it's
story.
much better.
Now,
So,
sorry.
yes.
When you talk about the songwriting, like what goes through your head when you, like you said, you love writing songs and you had like how much, 150 songs written. Like where does the inspiration come from? Like where do you, like Kwiki and you know, where does that inspiration come from?
Yeah, it's a bunch of things, Dylan. It's like as soon as I start studying, something a whole new gear went into motion for me. Because I realized that yes, you have talent, but you need to work hard at anything in life. But if you work focused, 100%. And there's people that have done it before me.
Yeah.
So I can do it as well. There's a lot of people that's not the most prettiest package for the pop culture and everything. So you need to be better at something else. And the instant I started studying, I clicked, listen, I can write. I have that natural ability to write, but I need to learn from the other guys' lessons. So I read a lot of books on songwriting, psychology even. Well, I needed to read history books when you study architecture. And a whole new gear shifted for me. So now when I write songs, I don't necessarily realize all the lessons that I learned for all the books and all of the tutorials that I did. For anybody out there, there's guys called Friedemann Findhuisen. What's the guy's name? The other guy, Desmond Childs. Go look at those guys. They have books out there. They've written songs. If you read that stuff, you're bound to learn something and make it your own. And that sort of process I've tried continually to do from the instant I started studying in 2012. So I was also bound to become a better songwriter. So I just kept on hitting the ball, writing songs, but more focus driven now, more on the lessons that I've learned from other masters, so to say. And that's how I approach it these days. I don't necessarily, here and there I pick up, oh yeah, you have to, before a chorus, you have to do this with a song, or you have to not do this sort of rhyme, or you have to not do this sort of thing. But it's a conglomerate of a lot of things. Sometimes I pick up the guitar and like it inspires me, and then it picks up a theme. Sometimes I watch a movie. Sometimes I drive in the car and I see something. Yeah,
it's like when passion almost takes over, you bring your knowledge in just to make sure that it stays to stuff that works. Like follow an algorithm almost that works when the chorus, and as you said, bring in things. So I want to ask you 3 things, interesting things. I don't know if you know Jerick Lomas. It's the guy that did Lentekend, Bazaruta. He's also on the podcast, and Zaan Sonnekes. We asked all of them this question. So this is for the music people.
Cool.
If you have to create a show-stopping band that has to perform this country, like travel this country, perform, how would you set it up? 2 lead singers. I want 2 lead singers from you. 1 guitarist, 1 drummer, and 1 pianist.
Okay.
That almost sounded so...
well out.
The pause.
So, 2 lead singers.
And I'm talking about they need to catch attention. Like it's a sense of their name and their skill. Like how that's what we want to see if we can. What's your team?
I'm going to ask you later for what the band is composed of, but the 2 lead singers for me would be
Are you in it, by the way? You're one of them.
Is it? Am I one of the lead singers?
You're one of them.
Yeah, you're one of
Yeah,
them.
then I must get somebody very vocal then. Perhaps it would be somebody.
How about a
Must
spin
they still be alive?
No, they have to be alive because I don't think you can travel with a
Because
casket.
then there's going to be a lot of singers.
You can't travel with a casket. Like, if I would see you, in my honest opinion, and I
Dave
saw
Matthews, man, come on, Dave Matthews.
Okay.
Me and
if
Dave
you
Matthews.
and Bok had to pull off a duet, you and Bok have
you
to make
think?
like a party song. Like he's Tina van Wyk,
Yeah.
and you're Kwiki like in a mixture somehow.
Yeah, but I
And
can
you-
dream now. I
I
want
can see
Dave
that.
Matthews.
Dave Matthews,
Matthews,
okay,
yeah.
Dave Matthews is your
So it's me and
second
Dave
singer.
Matthews. We're the two lead singers.
Your drummer.
Ooh.
The drummer. I believe in a very steady, I won't call it classic trained, but that guy is so solid on drums. You can put him in any studio. He's played on all my previous albums, and he played for most of for Afrikaners Groot back in the day and all of that. A guy called Bruce Wallace. I don't know if you know him.
Bruce Wallace.
It sounds
He's a South
familiar.
African guy,
No, you think of Bruce Willis.
No, I'm not thinking of Bruce Willis. He's an actor.
but he is so flipper. That guy is
Yeah.
good, eh? Okay, lead guitarist.
Guitarist, yeah.
A lead guitarist, most probably a guy called Mateus. I forgot his name now. He's on Instagram. Mateus. If it's on my Mateus something. He's a guy with this long hair, but he's an extremely good guitarist. Mateus. I can't flippin' remember his whole name.
And your pianist.
Pianist.
Stop it! You're making it hard
Pianist.
Okay, whoa. Whoa.
Maybe on this.
whoa.
Yeah, those guys don't feature that much these days in a rock band, but they're very important. But let's take my producer Murray Libber with, because he's very underrated as a pianist. He used to play all the pubs and do all the John Lennon songs and all flipping anything rock he would make on the piano in like news cafes and all of that back in the day. Just him and the piano.
Now,
Cover
you
gigs.
are always on TikTok as well a bit. So, have you seen that conspiracy theory about people saying that Adele and Sam Smith are the same person? Have you seen that?
I've seen
So
that.
if
It's
you
nonsense,
take, I'll play you something
Yeah.
afterwards, and guys, we'll put it on this. We'll put it in the video for you guys. So it is. They said if you take like Sam Smith's song
Okay.
and you pitch it up, or you take Adele's song,
Pitch it down.
pitch it down, they sound exactly the same person. So
Really?
Adele starts sounding like Sam Smith. Sam Smith starts
But
sounding
another
like
guy
Adele.
did it as well the other day.
Yeah.
Miley Cyrus.
Emil, he takes all my
Yes.
photos. He took all the photos with Sarah Sia's cover and Jorge, the latest one. He did it as well, and he sounded like Miley Cyrus. So I won't say there's a conspiracy theory. It's just something going on with the
But do you
tonality of
think
voice.
that conspiracy theory regarding all of this, do you think it might be that, like, the big groups of music artists in like America and the global region, they find someone who's got the media training, who's got all of that, who looks good, all of that, and what they can do possibly is get a ghost singer for them, do a ghost writer, sing everything for them, and they just perform with that song on stage, and they like lip sync to it, kind of, because it's easier to make a good looking person like they in America famous than taking someone and let their skill grow.
I think it's possible, but the icebreaker or the thing that's going to break the camel's back in this is when that guy goes onto stage. If he's not somebody that can really perform, doesn't matter how pretty he is, but if he's not somebody that has a personality to perform and he lip syncs,
Let's say they do have a
Yeah,
personality.
but also like
but lip sync
You
with
can-
personality.
yeah, then he
You
instantly
can
goes
see-
on to interviews and he talks and stuff. And then
you can see
people's
when someone
gonna-
performs if he's actually singing, like vibing with the music, with his music, or if he is like lip singing to a ghost singer, for example.
What was your most stressful show that you've done?
The most stressful. It was a total cultural misfit. Was the pub that I used to sing at my matric year, 2 years after that, everything. They booked me 3 years after matric. They booked me there. And it's not like a racial thing or anything, but I got there And it was, we didn't realize it. They booked me at the semi-finals of the Soccer World Cup. Now I pitch up to this place up.
In 2010.
Yeah,
2010. Yo.
it was 5 years actually then after.
Yeah, the soccer
We didn't
World Cup.
realize it was that time. It was that Friday there was a game on. It was like in the middle of the thing. But anyway, I got into there, I pitched my stuff and I started playing and I realized this country Afrikaans, I can play CCR and all that stuff I know as much as I can. I'm not going to rock these people's boat. So I try and my speaker, literally the one speaker blew as well.
Sure.
And I'm like, okay, what now? And I play, and there was sound check where my speakers, I saw that.
At least it was sound check though. Like not in the actual show.
I take a break and I take a breather and say, I'm going to try it with this one song. I play 3 songs and at least I knew the owner of the bar for years now, for like 7-8 years because I've been playing there. And I just told him, man, this is the most difficult thing in my life ever. I can't. My speakers are not working. These guys have been here since 7 o'clock. The game is like 9 o'clock. It's now 8 o'clock. I must sing for them. It's a total cultural misfit. And I felt bad because he obviously booked me and I drew. By that stage, I stayed in Pretoria. I had to drive through. But it was like so stressful for me because I really tried to do something and I played the kick drum and the guitar, but it just didn't happen.
And the most stressful lead up to a show, like I'm talking about, you're performing at an event and the stress is building before, not like technical difficulties, just the most stress you because of the place that you're performing.
For me, how I see stress these days, real stress is more like excitement.
Okay.
So when I'm stressed, I get excited, but I overthink everything and that stress. But it's not a stress that I won't be able to make it. It's a stress like I really want to do good at this.
So what would that be then? Which show?
No, Corona for sure. There was 2 weeks ago. Yeah, I was that all week, but we prepared so much. The instant I got onto that stage, they made sure that we rehearsed so much. My body was so done, and it was a good thing, and my brain was also so done for that week of rehearsing. It was so in me that I could just go, let's just gooi.
Prop was busy
a little bit too
performing.
much.
Prop was busy performing. I'm taking WhatsApp pictures. I'm sending WhatsApp pictures to him while he's performing.
Yeah.
I'm so proud of you. I can see right there.
I'm so proud of
I zoom in. I message him. I keep messaging him. You're doing so well.
No, that was
Let's
crazy.
go, man.
Yeah,
I
but
was
that's exactly
so
that
hyped
thing.
for him.
I was hyped. It's not a stress thing. It's I want to do good at this.
Yes.
And that's what I
That's
think when
the
you
thing.
perform a lot in every sort of sports, everything, when you do that a lot, it's a sort of I want to do good of it. So I overthink it because I want to do good. It's not a stress. It's more like a focus, a hyper focus thing for me.
Okay.
That's insane. Now, we did have questions that we wanted to ask you about 2 things. Do you believe in some conspiracy theories?
I believe that people have the time to make the bullshit up. Yes.
Okay. That's
Okay.
fair.
Do you believe in... not do you believe... What am I starting with? We had such a... Do you watch boxing, like the international boxing thing, like Logan Paul and stuff like that?
I started when I'm in hotels and at nowhere for some reason. I started following UFC a little bit, not boxing.
But now...
But Logan Paul, I know about him. I
Logan
checked the Netflix thing. I checked it out. How he got super famous by being a nobody and then doing UFC.
He's fighting a UFC.
boxing.
He's fighting a UFC person now. Logan Paul, the older brother of the 2 Paul brothers, and he's fighting Dylan Dennis. It's an ex-UFC fighter.
Okay.
Why does he always fight the ex fighter?
I don't know.
But is it going to be a boxing match or UFC?
It's a boxing match.
Boxing
Okay.
match.
Yes.
Okay.
So, but now Dylan Dennis is playing mind games. This man, and that's why I wanted your feedback in this situation, but you haven't seen it yet. Dylan Dennis. Now, Logan Paul got engaged recently. Dylan Dennis is taking pictures of all the guys she's been with or slept with before.
Was that him?
And he's posting all of them on social media to troll him and break his brain.
I
Like
saw
on the
that.
Muren mark. That's all he's going to do. He's going
Like,
to make
I saw that, but I didn't know it was going to be him. Like, I didn't know it was him that we was fighting. Like, I didn't pay attention to the
it
name.
was him fighting.
Yo. Okay.
Now I'm saying, bro, if someone would post pictures like that and I would fight him,
No.
that's not going to make me want to quit. That's going to put me in an enraged state to win
Of
that
course.
boxing fight.
And that's exactly what that guy is good at. Everybody tells him you can't. And now when somebody says something negative like, I'm going to
Exactly.
thunder you out because I know all this stuff about you,
Yeah.
he's going to tell you, I don't give a damn. He's just going to hit him even harder. Because that guy's, when I checked that Netflix documentary, I was like, that's exactly what life's about. Anything you apply your mind to, if you push hard, you can flip and do it.
One-
That's
Now-
awesome.
what I think, so with this whole conspiracy thing, right? So him, Dylan, obviously posting the pictures and all the people saying, Logan Paul, KSI, all these fights are rigged or faked. So do you think they're doing this again on purpose to make it a big fight and then the outcome is already decided, but then both parties get money and it's a happy exchange for both?
Yeah, I think with boxing and UFC, it's not like WWF. There's no show. It's the real hits.
Okay.
I think that's a little bit of a different stress.
Because no one just wants to take a hit in your face.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like-
flip, but that's hard, eh?
But also, if you say money, like if someone tells me, listen, you have to fight Jake Paul, for example, to, I focus, guys, ADHD jokes. But if someone tells you, Prop, listen, $50 million, all you need to do is you need to take one big punch from him and pass out. Why would you say no to that? If your contract, the best you could, for example, if the best you can
It's
get
like
out of that
kickboxing
contract,
stuff that the guys are doing.
the best contract that you can get, for example, if you do it fair, is $20 million. Fair fight, if you win.
Look, I don't have a pretty face already, so a little extra scar won't mind.
My brain, I would take 50 million.
Yeah, for
Exactly.
sure.
A conspiracy theory I want to speak to both of you guys that I saw recently.
Okay.
And I'll send you guys the video. They showed, there's NASA, like those videos of, not NASA, like America showing atom bombs, like how they explode and how they destroy the houses and the cars and stuff. I've got two questions. In the one video, there was a car
I know what
parked
you're talking
behind the house. There's a car like behind the house. The blast is coming. Before the blast, there's no car. All of a sudden it appears and then it's gone again, the car that's parked behind the house. And the camera survive. During those blasts, the house gets ruined. Nothing of the house is left. The car gets ruined, but the camera recording all of this is still there. That's things that bother me.
It's a very expensive camera.
But okay, this is not totally conspiracy theory, but I like to read a lot. But it's like something that will blow your mind at how these sort of things can happen. It's not a conspiracy theory, but it's like a weird thing. I don't know if you know a guy called Bill Bryson.
No.
He is the decan or the head of I think it's I can't remember. University of London, not Cambridge, something else. But anyway, he's very. But Bill Bryson is the guy who wrote 1 million books. His book called Touring America or something is about touring America. So somewhere in Texas, there's a place where they did atom bombs back in the 40s or 50s,
yeah.
there around. Now the people, the rich, they had camping sites all around, and there was a restaurant with a deck. Like 7-5 miles out, they tested atom bombs. Now you get into that desert. Years later, you drive up there, and it's just this place where there's a nice restaurant and there's a building and looking into nothing. People start thinking there was a river historically or something. The people were crazy enough to check atom bombs and be nuked, like with atom bombs, because people didn't know. The people were flipping crazy those days.
Jeez.
So imagine you pitching up into the middle of nowhere, seeing these structures of looking out into the desert.
I just, my brain just snapped something. You saying people being stupid enough to sit and look into atom bombs. I saw this video on TikTok where 3 of the ladies working with Superman has breast cancer because he stared too much X-ray vision on them. The doctor said they were exposed to X-ray vision for too much. And I'm like, okay, that is something. What's the funniest thing that happened to you on a stage before? Like funniest, most insane thing. Like for example, Zahn Sonic has said someone threw a bra at him, or what's like the most weird, insane thing that happened while you were on stage?
Well, with Robbie, there's so much I can't remember now. But the most recent thing that happened to me on stage, I'll think of something with Robbie as well, because there was some interesting moments back in the day. But the most recent thing it wasn't. Well, I'm not going to name drop. It was a town with a first letter called K. That's all I'm going to say. So I do this thing where when the thing gets bored, I tell people it's going to get awkward now, or it's going to become a Moorse vibe.
Yeah.
I'm going to get off the stage now. I'm going to jump on the most sturdy table there, and I'm going to dance with you, and I'm going to sing with you. And I do it because sometimes people just need that extra bit of push to enjoy the party with me. So I'm on this table dancing, and I see this one lady in the corner of my eye, but I don't really take notice. I turn around the stage, she's dancing, and I'm dancing. So, needless to say, before I end the story, nowadays I tell people that you must be my bouncers. If anything like this happens, please take them away. So afterwards, my guitarist mother shows me a photo. The lady was so drunk. she got onto the stair of the bar, the picnic table thing, and she started like dry humping me. And I thought she was, I thought she was like literally trying to balance because she's drunk, but she was doing something totally else on the video. And I'm like, why didn't anybody stop this? So now I tell people just when I'm at shows, I tell them, please just help. Be my bouncers. If anything weird happens with a drunk old Tanny, take her away.
I'm also
Imagine how it feels to be him going through like a town and something and everybody just notices you. You tend to get that a lot now. If you go to shows and if you go walk in the mall or something like that, people notice.
It's such a pleasure.
Is it?
I think it's one of the best feelings.
Yeah, it's so amazing. Especially little kids when you see them and they recognize you when you light up their day.
Yeah.
And I say to them, hey, what's your name? Do you like the song? Which song do you like? And they always say Kwiki and whatever. And it's such a
Kwiki,
pleasure. And like, you want to pose for a photo? It's just a groot voorreg. It's very
Now,
cool.
like on the topic of that, now I know some people or like famous people get not annoyed, but is there like would you have limits? So say you are at a mall and you're with your family or you're eating, and then someone would come up to you while you're eating saying, "Hey, can I take a picture?" Would you do that, or would you be like not now, but maybe come back later?
Yeah, I think it's a humane thing. If I'm busy eating and somebody comes up and if he's very drunk, I'm gonna say, "Hey, you drunk? No, you're on." I must just be human to him.
Yeah, okay.
So I must just react. Anybody that's going up to anybody that's busy eating, you react how you react. But I'll never ever say, totally go away. But it's like, jy het 'n paar doppies in. Kom ons neem gou 'n foto. I'll always try to diffuse the situation if there's a situation. But most of the time, yes, we have such cool people in
And the
this
thing is,
country.
I think you guys know already with like your level of success, there come certain things that you have
And
to
my
do.
family knows it as
And-
well.
And I think any person in their right mind would choose that situation to have like this fame. Choose the situation that people take photos. By all means, there is a situation where you can get a private seating or with people or private cars or wherever you go. But I think that's such a special moment to know that actually see all of these people that look at your stuff comes into fruition and they look at you and they want to take a picture with you. And I think that's special.
Exactly. And especially if you've been working at it since 2023.
Yeah, so it's come a
You
long
didn't
way.
know what this dream is going to be. But now this dream coming into fruition as it like
Did you just say
did.
2023?
2022. 2002.
Yeah, 2002. Yeah.
Yeah, I heard
Sorry.
2023.
2002.
Yeah,
I've been in
no,
the music, and always it's been this dream. But how this dream came together, I couldn't have imagined myself.
No,
So
I have another question, but this is more from a guitarist point of view. No? When you're on stage, okay, is there sometimes when you play a song like with the acoustic guitar, do you mess up the chords, but you just go through with it, or do you realize you mess up, you stop, and you quickly swap back, or do you just go with the flow?
it depends on the song, how I perform. I don't know if any of you've seen my actual shows. I have a kick drum,
Okay.
and then I have an acoustic guitar,
Yes.
and then my guitarist. So we'll play like Johnny Cash covers or Lisbeth Lees book, all that stuff. But then I have backtracks as well.
Okay.
And I didn't used to do that before. I used to actually tour in a pub, sitting on a chair with a kick and a snare and a bassist. That's how I used to tour.
Yeah.
So now there you can't screw it up. You're
yeah.
the energy of the show. But what's so nice about, and I was like, all muso, Anton Goosen vibes, shouldn't play backtracks. I was into that. But the instant I liberated myself from this standing at a kick drum, and you can now walk around and entertain people with your body and your
Yes.
oddly proportioned arms and short body, I embraced it. Because now I can entertain people with a different, new method. So with the instant there's a backtrack, depending on the song, it's a very deep song that I like to play the guitar nice so the people hear it through the backtrack. Cool, but on a song like Kwiki, where it's very chunk. But on odd songs like Sarah Say Ya and songs that's not, the guitars don't feature that much. Mari produce it with electric guitars more. Then I sometimes even leave the guitar and I don't.
Okay, yeah.
Just
For me, it's about the show and perform, and I'll even put the guitar behind and at rap sections with one of my songs, I just leave the guitar and I just rap.
Just start singing.
Yeah.
Okay.
In like the music industry, this is something I want to know. Like I know in rugby, for example, if people play for the Springboks, you get your category A players, your B and C players. Now, category A players are you people with your biggest sponsors, like, for example, Cheslin, Colby, Dwayne Vermeulen.
Yeah.
Then you get your category B and your category C with less sponsors and less sponsors. Do you guys have that same set at, like, for example, in Select? If you can put it like in that sense of the way, like your top singers like Brendan Piper and you and then you get your like your second tier and then your entry level tier, like what was that other girl's name that sang Panado for the Pain? Munette, I think.
Munette,
Munette.
yeah.
So she would be like C tier. Do you guys have that levels, for example? Or is it not there yet? Like Bartu A, Elof there, and like just split it up, for example.
Yeah, I think it's not about levels. It's more about obviously you get and we've talked constantly. We talk that me and Mari, my producer and Select as my record company, we constantly talk about it. You obviously have the top tier that you can book them in any town. There will be 500 to 1,000 people minimum, like the Bok, the Steves, Unitas, those
Spoegwolf.
Spoegwolf, those sort of people. They are top tier. But then you get the other guys in between, which you actually can't gauge these days, because in South African music, because they all see it as Afrikaans music on Apple charts, it's Afrikaans music now. So there's the top 200 charts. That chart is like up and down. Unita sometimes is one, then it's Spoegwolf. Now it's these days it's Inge Twee, what's their name?
Pisangskille.
Yeah.
So
They're
now,
also by Select.
I don't know.
Wait, no, I
actually.
think no, they're
No, they're
Universal.
not.
Yeah, I think
No, they had Universal. I saw their Instagram.
yeah.
I remember they signed at Universal.
So the thing is now it's all of these. It's not conflicting, but it's not actually the same market, because for me, how I see it personally, and I think that's how record companies see it more or less as well, is like at Apple, it's mostly young blokes from 18 to 26 that has that, because they want the Apple. Daddy, I want the Apple phone. My mother want the Apple phone. That's what they do. When you get older, you don't mind too much about
You
the
do
Apple phone. You need to
Spotify.
get through your kids through school. You could do Spotify.
Yeah.
So what I like to gauge it on more is if you go onto Spotify and you see the monthly listeners. And if you go on there, then you have a clear differentiation. There's very little people between 100 and 200. Like people like Rian Bernardi, Apple,
Yes.
and Steven, all that. They'll be all above the 200s.
Okay.
And I think Bartu and Elof and them, they'll be at like 120. But for me, it's once again, that's not relevant, because Bartu and Elof gets listened to on Apple.
Yeah.
So how do you judge it? Kwiki is doing much better than Bartu's Impulsief and How to were on YouTube.
But he's doing better than Apple.
But it's at somewhere around the 30s, 40s now on Apple. And Bartu's songs is in the top 10 constantly. So how do you gauge it? There's no true gauge. But
do
somebody
you
must write an
guys-
algorithm.
we should actually, guys, we are officially starting the ZYCEPS
ZYCEPS.
Top 100 Afrikaans. ZYCEPS Top 100 Afrikaans.
I read that.
I rate the playlist, and that's how the artists get featured. So if I put someone on number 1, don't come tell me your Piet Sarel Ferreira there from 7de Straat. It deserves to be number 5. I make the list, name.
Yeah.
And if I make that list, and I said Propski in the top 10, Steve in the top 10, Rian Bernardi, Elof, and jou gunsteling Piet Ferreira is not there. Then, and I'm looking at you, then you don't complain. Okay, you go with it. And we're going to do looks. We're going to do a looks. It's going to be like a whole, they show presence, everything, who they are as a person, we put in that list.
Okay.
Sorry, I just got into such a freaking...
No, we saw that.
But that's the thing about it. That's why I don't care about it too much, because you yourself mile mark if you look at it the whole time and try to gauge yourself. Like the past week when Kwiki hit 3 million, I was like, yes, that's crazy. And then I checked Sarah and I was like, Sarah's going slow for me. But then I didn't realize, listen, guy, it's a year after you have a lot more people listening to you. Go back to your first TikTok videos and see and reference that. In the first week, Kwiki only did 700 views on YouTube. And now Gocha did I think it did 21 in the first 2 weeks.
21,000.
21,000 in the first week. Yeah, it was 21,000 in the first. So it's 3 times better. And I want to judge myself for it's going too slow. No, man, you must always be relevant to your own thing. And I can't watch Bernice's, if I would, I ask myself, Malmark, if I look at Unita's video that did flipping 1K in 3 days.
Sorry,
But did you see that marketing
100K.
plan they did of that? That marketing for that one was insane. That whole event everybody went to and all of that premiere event. Now that's the thing, because I saw all of that. I didn't even know she was releasing a song. But I saw it on so many of the social media people that I follows thing that they're releasing a song. I saw yours through Kristal and Anzel because they're my friends that you're releasing a song. And that's how I know.
Because I also think, especially for the Afrikaans artists, it's very hard to identify yourself as like this artist. Because if you put on like all these Boek van Berk, all those songs, people will say, it's the same. It's Afrikaans music. So to find your identity as a separate or not separate, but like find your identity as a new upcoming Afrikaans singer, it's very hard to get up like to the charts and be known.
For
that.
me, to close it off, I think it's like you must get your own little niche. The instant you want to satisfy everybody, you're struggling. I used to write songs, pop songs, rock songs, punk rock songs, and the instant I started refining what songs I wanted, that songs I took to Murray, the 60 that I took to him, he took the most Boer Afrikaans pop songs because he said that's where you will do good. Because it's a commercial market, but your personality will work best there. You can be a rock star as well. You have rock songs as well. Yeah. But realize what sort of songs will work for you in the market. So you must carve out your own little niche. There's one band now like Pisangskala. I think they're very good because they want to go with the student crowd. And for that, they're doing great. And that's why they're number one, because it's a very niche market and they just want to do that, no more.
Okay. And they do good. Mr. Prop, do you rate... So my opinion when looking at the Pisangskala is that they're like a mash together of Spoegwolf. Now, I want you to think of this, and then when you listen to them again, you're going to see what I'm saying. If you take Spoegwolf lyrically, and you take Drums and Drum vibe-wise, mash them together, you get the Pisangskala.
But that time is so right for them. It's exactly that.
But they don't have stage presence. That's one thing they are missing currently. And I checked one of their performances. It's
I've never seen, but I thought about that thing as well.
No, they don't have stage presence.
But
I saw that.
Man.
Universal as well. I don't think you guys are watching my video, but Universal. I want you guys to teach the Pisangskala. I'll show them the way how to jive and skit my fakies. No, they stand there and it's like, this is their stage. They use this bit.
Yeah.
And you can't have that. Hands in the air everywhere.
Yeah, I was scared at Kroon they're going to chase me away, but I said, flip that, I'll just go.
That's the thing. You need to have that stage presence as well.
But time, that's the scariest
thing.
thing.
Like Donnie from Spoegwolf. He does
that. There's one performance at African
for sure. I've checked these shows.
Like I've seen him live, and he would like climb on the scaffoldings, and then people would just cheer him on. But the security guards would be like, "No, stop cheering him. No. He must come off the stage."
I must just lose a few Ks, and I can do it as well.
Who do you rate as the top crowd puller in the country at the moment? Like, if it can be a single artist group, whoever. Who do you rate the biggest crowd puller?
No, Steve for sure. Fortunately and unfortunately, Steve as in forever.
Do you think he'll pull more than Spoegwolf?
Yeah, I think
if
so.
If Steve has a show now, and I shouldn't do that, but if Steve has a show now and Spoegwolf has a show now, who do you think's pulling more?
He's gonna do it. I think next year April it's Steve. It's not a punt, but Steve doing Steve next year April.
Okay.
So tell Spoegwolf to say Spoegwolf doing Spoegwolf on the same night, and then we see.
Steve is a legend. Like you 100%. Can't compete with what he has done.
For sure.
But Spoegwolf under the newer generations, I think 20 years from now, if they still perform.
But that's my thing. That's getting back to the Spoegwolf does them and they do it good. Steve does his thing and they do it good. You can't actually compare them. So that's the thing in South African music. When you speak Afrikaans and you do Afrikaans music, do good at what you do. Like the Pisangskala, do good at what you do. Even if you're Jonita, do good at what you do. Even if you're a up-and-coming like Elof and Berta, do good at what you do. Don't try to be anything else. Yeah. That's the crowd. The crowd realizes the instant that you do something on stage that's not yourself, they realize it.
Okay. If you can look at the people at home and tell the person like that is going through a tough time, a quote or something that helped you through a tough time in your life, what would it be? If you can look at the people at home.
No Rocky Deep.
No,
I think it will most probably be something to, my father always says this, it's never too late for a change or to try something new. Never too late to try something new. So and that's the reason why I started studying architecture at 27. And I would like to, anybody can come and argue with me as hard as they can, but the studying architecture for 5 years and getting my master degree in it and then doing music.
Only start studying at 27.
Yeah, only started studying at 27 and I got my master's at 23, I think. So,
33, you mean?
Yeah, 33. Sorry.
I was like, you started at 27.
I'm a bit dyslexic, forgive me.
No. It's okay,
me.
Don't stress.
So that, doing that late start in life with that thing, yes, I grew so much. Because if you start something new, you learn. So if you feel bad about yourself, pick yourself up and start doing flipping crochet, start doing baking, start doing anything that you think a sniffle of interest blow your mind. So just do it.
One of my personal, and this is a personal question that gets a bit deeper. What was your biggest challenge in life you had to face? And you have told the story semi before, and I've listened to it a few times. But for people at home and people that haven't heard your story yet, if you want to speak about that, what is something that was hard for you to overcome, and then you faced it like a giant, and you just walked over, climbed that mountain, and slapped your flag, and then you were successful? What would that have been?
For me, it is most probably being a success in the music industry. Because listen, I was a 20 or 19-year-old punk rocker with this dream to become something, and I needed to make peace with the fact that you're not the prettiest peanut in the bucky.
Yeah.
You are not the fittest peanut in the bucky.
No, I can agree with me. Yeah,
you are not going to wasn't the best guitarist or the best singer necessarily, but I knew I can write. And for a writer to become successful, for me, it's like architects as well. You must have years and years and years after your belt before even people trust you to build something bigger than a house. Because
you don't normally hear about writers going famous in this country.
Yeah, so for me, it's that thing of, it's not a day thing where it was a switch like, yes, this was difficult. But for me, persevering and actually then not on my own, not on my own merit, the word is on my own, with my own rules. I just kept at it and kept at it. And at stages, I was like hurtful, man. I just wrote songs and sent them to Carlin, send them to Bobby, send them to Gerard Stein. I sent songs all around the country for everybody to record. Nothing happened. But at the end of the day, I decided, let me give one more shot. I told my wife, this is my one more shot. I'm going to write these songs for the next few years. I'm going to take them I wanted to actually take them to a few producers, but then by luck, I got Murray, and Murray worked with me to make this career of mine now a success. So I think it's not a flip switch thing. It's this thing of persevering, and standing on that stage. The evening on the rehearsals of Friday of Krone, I can only relate to it now because I stood on that stage and I was like, holy flip. This is a seminal point in my life and my career. But not only that, there's people here, thousands of people going to stand here and they're going to live with me.
Yeah.
And this is actually what you worked for your life, to stand there and go, hey people, this is me, this is life, enjoy yourselves. That for me was like, flip it. I've made it. I don't want to boast or be proud. I can be proud of it, but I don't want to be windgat about it. But it's so beautiful that I am the privileged one to be in front of people and they just living. It's amazing.
They're living like with you, with your music.
I don't think we always grasp the amount of followers some of the people have on TikTok. Like, I took my followers just as an example. There's how many? 30,000 tickets sold there at Krone?
35, yeah.
35. If you double that, that's about my followers on TikTok. Then you get people like Yellow and all those people in the hundreds.
Anzel, wanted to see
Anzel. Then you get John, 200.
Yeah.
Then you get Malcolm, 1 million.
That's
and
crazy.
all of those people that are having those followers. And I think Krone is that sense of realization of just some of your followers being there and looking at what you do. I think that's an amazing feeling to see that number become a number in front of you. And that's special.
Yeah.
And I think, honestly, your wife and your family and everybody can be so proud of you of how far you've come and what you've done. And one thing I will say of you, and I said it about Zon and I said it about Jerick, people that have been here before are so down to earth. Like, you guys didn't lose that humanity about you. Because yes, fame does go to many people's heads. I can guarantee you can have 5 other people here, it won't be the same. And you are still the same person when you get out and all of that. And I think that is something that makes you so special. And that's why many people will always relate with you when they greet you and stuff. You don't let them feel like, are you there? I'm here.
Yeah. Like I'm the same
treat
level.
them as a human.
In this, it's not. That's how my mother, our mother and my father raised me. But I think if you have that attitude in the small rural country and music industry of ours, it's gonna be a sad story.
Yeah, definitely.
If you can nominate one person to be on the podcast after you, another singer, who would you want to see on the podcast?
I met such cool people at Krone, so I think I must choose somebody there. Most probably, yes, me and Rian of
Rian Benardi?
No,
Well,
Rian
Rian
from
van
Yan
Yan
Yan. He was such a cool guy.
Okay.
So we just chatted backstage and everything, and Yelof as well. He's such a
So
flippin'
would
cool
you
guy.
see Yellow or Rian?
Yelof, perhaps?
Yellow.
Yeah.
So I've got a question for you. Going to bring in a new segment in the podcast.
Exciting.
You know, like Wackett Simpson, he did the prank calls. Do you have someone you want to do a prank call on?
Oh, do you have their phone number?
No, you need to give it to me. We can call them.
I don't have Yelof or Rian's phone number.
Who do you want to do a prank call on?
Ek sal nou net onthou wie se nommer ek het.
We can take a quick pause.
Can you give her Vanessa Marie?
Wie nie.
Nolene van Dreen, Spinks.
Yes.
Kom ons bel haar.
Kom ons ja, gooi hom vir my. Nolene.
Oei,
Kijk,
jene.
gooi.
Hello?
Hello, is this Madam Nolene speaking currently?
Hello?
Hello, is this Nolene speaking?
Hello?
Hello, is this Nolene speaking?
Hi, yes, this is Nolene. Who am I speaking to?
Nolene, you are speaking to James. I'm calling you. We are busy testing water meters, and we have tested water meters at your estate, and it shows that your apartment side hasn't been feeding information back to the municipality, and it shows that you are 2,000 rand still behind on the payment for the water meter.
Okay, so I only hire there. I do not pay water at all. That is the owner's job.
So would you bring it under the attention of the owner? Because if this does not get paid, there will be a fine on the resident that stays there.
Okay, can I give you my agent's, my rental agent's number?
Okay, yes, you can read it for me quickly.
Okay, just hold on, let me get it for you.
Nolene, kom jy nou? Wat? Huh?
Nolene, I've got someone that
Sorry,
wants
I'm
to
at
say
an event
hello.
right now. That's why it's so noisy.
There's someone that wants to say hello to you quickly. This was just a prank call.
Moenie so baie worry oor jou krag nie, Nolene. Dis proppie, so ek en ZYCEPS trek 'n bietjie jou been, hoor.
Nolene, sorry, ons is hier besig.
awesome.
Ons is hier besig met 'n podcast.
Jy's heeltemal te nice. Of
Wat is
iemand
die-
wat jou bel agter
Julle
jou.
is awesome.
Nolene, ons invite jou sommer na die volgende episode op die
Julle het my
podcast.
gehad, ouwe.
Ons gaan jou sommer invite na die volgende episode op die podcast. Prop het sommer aan jou gedink. Toe dink hy, wie gaan 'n vrolike mens wees om te plaat die tyd van die
Ek sou
aand.
nie so vrolik wees as jy hulle bygeplaat nie, hoor.
Ja, sorry. Daai is amazing. Julle het my gehad. Dit is awesome.
Nolene, volgende keer as jou beurt op die podcast, dan kan jy ook iemand prank call.
Ek is so in. 100%.
Awesome. Gee dit geniet en 'n lekker dag verder.
Cheers,
Dankie julle. Lekker aand.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Why is someone so friendly this
Nee,
time?
ek sê nie.
Why
I
is someone
wouldn't be
so
that
friendly
friendly.
this
I
time
wouldn't
of
be.
night? Like, I
Yeah,
can't.
I wouldn't
She's
be that
just-
friendly.
I'm just going to send you
And she's at
my...
a function.
I'm just going to... She answers... Like, she's a person. Guys, have you ever seen Nolene and you are a close friend of her or you know her? That's a person you can call when your life is in danger. Me and Ariana, the lady that was on the contract,
Oh ja.
we sat here one afternoon, Thursday afternoon. We called 10 people to do a prank on. 10.
Yo.
No one answered. And we were like, so no one answers a random number. If you would be in danger, you would die. Calling some of these people. She's one of those people you can call if you're ever in danger and
Makes
she will
sense.
answer.
Makes sense.
Prop, I want to say thank you for sharing some of the knowledge and stuff that we have here and that you've like accumulated over the years. And then just giving us a small glimpse into the stuff you've done.
Well, thank
You
you.
are still busy writing a big success story, and just you being here, we can like learn a lot from you and your passion for it, and we know why you're making success because it's the passion and the hard work, as you said. And we want to say thank you for being on the podcast. You are such an amazing person.
I mean,
Anything from
thanks.
your side?
Thanks for sharing, your passion with us and creating your own identity with us live, with all these people, building around you. But yeah, thank you.
No, thank you guys. It's always I always say I don't make music for myself, and I'm somebody that I like to give back, and because the more you give back, the more people will give back at you. So that's why I do it, and this sort of a long form podcast thing, I listen to this sort of stuff a lot on the road. So, and this stuff also lasts forever. People can go back and listen to it. So you guys are also doing a flippin' cool job at keep on keeping on. So
Thank you very much.
it's
So
appreciated.
I want to end this off with the last thing. When can we be in a music video?
Oh,
Okay.
I'll be in a music
Challenge
video.
accepted. Now I must just write the ideas. I won't put you in the Goga suit.
No,
so.
put me in a Speedo.
oh, please no.
A
No.
Speedo.
No.
I think in a Speedo
Okay.
would look good in your thing. And then you can sing Kwiki, puppy.
I'll check.
But thank you very much for the opportunity,
guys.
guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Make sure to subscribe. And also, I'm linking Prop's YouTube down below. So I'm going to link Prop's YouTube down below. And you guys can check it out there. You can find him on Spotify. You can find him on Apple Music, all the streaming platforms. But mainly, let's see if we can get Gogo also on 1 million views very fast.
Yes, 100%.
Guys, go check it down below in the link. Make sure to subscribe. Thank you for watching these podcasts. And also follow the playlist. Love you guys and have a good night. I know you are watching this right now. I can see you. Why are you looking at me like that? Click right here. Or even click here. Okay, stop being weird. Bye now.